Hi class, I am Juanita Altamirano and today I want to introduce you guys to a website called Sheg, which stands for Stanford History Education Group. I'm sorry about the video quality and the noise, so just bear with me. Um, so like I mentioned, Sheg, I want to introduce you guys to Sheg, and Sheg is a website that provides already made history lessons to history teachers. So here let me find Sheg. Oh, here you go. So here's Sheg. And Sheg is really big on implementing reading-based history lessons. So one of its main emphasis is teaching students how to read like a historian, which makes sense, you know. So a lot of its lessons include primary sources, which is good. As we're browsing through here, we might notice that it has 96 U.S. history lessons and it has 42 world history lessons. So over here, as we're reading through here are the examples of the history lessons it has. This one, the first one, it has close reading classroom poster. So we could get an idea of the students what they're gonna be doing is a close reading. And by the picture, it's gonna be deal with the Civil War, right? Let's take a look at the lesson over here, the classroom post. So I guess these are the instructions right here. Close reading. So these are the instructions. The close reading poster helps students evaluate sources and analyze retort by asking them, what claim does the author make? What evidence did the author use? What language, word, phrases, images, symbols does the author use to persuade the document's audience? So sometimes it does not provide the whole lesson, but it provides materials that history teachers can use. Let's take a look at another history lesson. Oh, we can even search it here on the lesson. So one of my favorite topics is the Cold War, especially in how it impacted Latin America. I put the Cold War, no, war. See, so it has one. It has one in the Cold War in Guatemala. And this is a picture of Jacobo Arbenz, the president of Guatemala, back in 1954. And let's look at the lesson plan. Let's take a look at the lesson plan now. So it even has what materials you're going to use. Copies of 2 textbooks, accounts, worksheet, copies of the CIA declassified document, and optional copies of original CIA documents. And it has a plan of instruction, even including the introduction. And it also has the conclusion part of the lesson plan, the brief as a whole class discussion. And the questions that's asked are very interesting. Why is the event in Guatemala considered part of the Cold War? How does this event help you understand the United States behavior during the Cold War? Are you surprised by the story? Why or why not? So just by briefly looking at this document, you know, this lesson plan is gonna make students make connection between the Cold War and Latin America. Did the Cold War Did the Cold War appear in Latin America? Why or why not? So this lesson is asking students to make connections. It has the Korean War, the anti-Vietnam movement, the Cuban Missile Crisis, the Truman and MacArthur, right there. It even has some of the Chicano movements, you know, that's Cesar Chavez right there. Public housing, the women's rights movements in the 1950s, Nashville riot, and it even provides some interviews by Kathleen Cleaver. And like I mentioned, a lot of its lessons and assessments incorporate historical thinking skills. Here are the thinking skills: sourcing, contextualization, corroboration, background knowledge, use of evidence, and periodization. There's more. And here it provides you the number of how many U.S. history assessments it has and how many world history assessments it has. It has this one, the first Thanksgiving. This one provides a video, which I think it's nice that they also provide videos, you know. Let's take a look at the assessment. So this is a painting about the first Thanksgiving, the depiction of the first Thanksgiving. And the question is asking the students to answer is, well, I'm gonna read the question. The painting, the first Thanksgiving, that's the painting, the first Thanksgiving, 1621, helps historians understand the relationship between Wampanoag Indians and the Pilgrim settlers in 1621. Do you agree or disagree? Briefly support your answer. So this painting is asking students to kind of use their history thinking skill caps and think of this picture really represent what happened in the first Thanksgiving. Why or why not? Do you agree with the depiction of the painter? Why or why not? It does not ask you what was the purpose of the painting and who was the audience of the painting. Well, those are also questions that I, for example, could use this and tweak the assessment, and incorporate those questions into the assessment if I were to do this type of assessment with this particular image. So I think that's one of the great things about Sheg, that it provides you with resources, primary and secondary resources. It kind of gives you an idea, but it's also very important not just to use the resources and give it straight to them. It's important for us to kind of tweak it to make it our own, you know. But what I find most valuable is the resources it provides the teachers with and the resources that you could do. It even provides some rubric, and it provides you with a rubric and some of the responses, you know. An example of what is a good answer for a proficient answer for this type of question. This is a crucial date. Crucial date. This is still profession, yeah. The painting is not a useful source of information for history because it was painted over 200 years. This is an interesting answer. So it even provides you with what a proficient answer would look like. An answer key. And that's all I can say about Sheg. Thank you for engaging with me in this journey of navigating through Sheg. And I hope all the history teachers that are in the classroom or future prospective history teachers will take a look at it. And if you didn't know about it, then I hope now you do. And yeah. Thank you very much.